The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The Book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Tuesday morning, kinda. It's really an afternoon show today for us here. The Boston versus the Book YouTube channel is at Boston versus the Book. We are live there every day. Twitter and X as well. Same handle at Boston versus the Book. Replay on Sports Grid Television and on Sirius XM channel 159. We are later than normal today. Normally it's Dave being late. This is on me today. I was at the doctor's longer than I thought, so I apologize to you, Dave, and to the brigade. Thank you guys for waiting and being patient. It's our last show for the week before Dave heads to vacation. How are you on a Tuesday?
Good, man. Not as good as you.
No.
You had one of those good mornings. 2 fingers. 2 times.
I don't know, but I'm not a virgin anymore. That's all I know.
No, listen.
I'm no longer a virgin.
You guys get to your mid-40s, you got to get different parts of your body checked. And sometimes it involves, I don't know if the word's invasive, maybe.
Yes.
You can't be evasive. It's a little invasive. You go in and you go out. You check some things. So
was not ready for it. Was not prepared for it. Was not expecting it. Was not anything until the doc was like, well, we have to start doing something now. And I was like, wait, what? It's like, you're in your mid 40s, upper 40s. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you never had one of these yet. It's like, no. He's like, guess what you get to have today? I was like, oh my God. No. Are you ready? Right? No, you're never really ready for it. But I mean, even my doc said, like, look, I don't like doing this, but we have to do this. Like, this is part of your health now. As a male in our age, over the age of 45, you have to get your prostate checked. Okay.
Gotta do it, boys.
Here is your male health portion of the show. It's not great. It's not comfortable. It's not even remotely, I don't know, fun, but it has to be done.
Yeah, it's one of those things in life. You got to get done. And listen, we trade texts all the time. And, you know, I'm waiting for the text and the rundown. And I'm reading about this guy. And, you know, the guy's moving money and betting Drake basketball games in Longwood and all this other stuff. I'm talking to people all over the country trying to get, you know, Elf on the show. Elf ain't coming on the show today, so don't worry about that. And I get the text from you, and I'm like, this is my favorite thing about today, which we do at the end of the show every day. But I was like, well, okay, that's good. You know, everything checked out. And it is, for a guy, and you've never done it, it can be a little bit scary. It's better that they don't tell you you're doing it until you get there. And then you're like, you're already in the office. You're like, man, okay.
Well, they put me in a gown.
Yeah.
Like I was supposed to go to get all of my data from the tests, from the blood work and everything else. I was supposed to go meet with the doctor to go over everything, because every 2 years we have this like a full, like, you know, very much in-depth. There's a physical, and then there's like a really in-depth physical every 2 years. So I was due to the in-depth physical. So to go sit there and have all the different stats and information and, you know, compare from 2023 to 2025 and where are we and where are we good? Where are we bad?
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting sorry. And I got to have a colonoscopy. Like, on top of that, it's, when was your last colonoscopy? I guess, like, I had it 7 years ago. He's like, all right, well, it's time to have another one.
Forget about Dame time. That's a different kind of time for you. Listen, like, we're going to focus on the NBA today. I was up early, and we got, you know, Richard, and we got Marcus Po'boy, and we got all these guys coming at us, and don't watch NBA. We're this, we're not, we're a bad rapping this. You called it sword fighting. I don't know what even that reference meant. Ain't nobody fight with no swords. And then
it's the meme. You ever seen the meme for Game of Thrones when Jon Snow is sitting there and he takes out the sword and here comes the charging people at him? Like, that's what these people would, if you just mention the NBA, in a negative tone. I mean, I give the brigade, you guys, I love finding different factions of the brigade, because I think sometimes, I know I do, we make sort of generalities as to like what our audience is all about, what they like and don't like. It caught me off guard. I'm not going to lie that there's people who are literally stands for the NBA and will die on the hill that the NBA is incredible. Okay.
It's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Nobody's sword fighting. You wrote me into this sword fighting comment, and then these guys were texting, and I was up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to address it, Marcus. I'm going to address it, Richard. And again, thank you guys for doing it. You're entitled to your own opinion. Listen, sometimes you say your opinion and Matt gets a little fired up and starts to get, a little, it's part of the game. It's part of what we do. So
to be fair, so this is all on the up and up and we know what's going on. This was a comment based on the live stream on Twitter. I didn't say anything. This was somebody who just decided to come at us for the NBA comments on yesterday's show.
We were addressing the blowouts. The problem that there's a 50-point blowout problem in the NBA, where it's like it's happening more in the last 2 years than it happened in the first 50.
Well, no, in the last decade, from 2000 2010, there were 9 50-point blowouts. We've had 11 in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Like the stats are the stats. Like that's insane. And then it doesn't even address like what happened last night with the Bulls. I mean, the Bulls were, they're up 50 at one point on the Sixers. They won the game by 32, I believe was the final score. But they were up they won the game 140 something to 110. Like 142 to 110.
Yeah.
Like just because it doesn't get to 50 points, that wasn't a good basketball game. That was a destruction. That was the Sixers are literally mailing it in. They want no part of playing basketball for the rest of the year.
Well, and again, I mean, they were 7.5-point favorites. So just think about that. Whoever made that number was a little bit off, and whoever laid it, it's just a bad bet. Like, just recover and go. I'd rather listen to Elf's Twitter Spaces over watching the NBA. J-Dow bets, that's saying something. Because that's a lot of heat and a lot of vitriol and a lot of yelling with nobody moderating. Elf, you got to hit the mute button once in a while. And get these people to stop talking. CBW, the Sixers tanking for Cooper Flag. Maybe they are, but the best part is that you go into the lottery, you may not get it. You may not get the one spot. So listen, we're going to talk about today's our last show of the week. Okay. So again, every single one of you that watch, listen, catch the replay on Sports Grid, driving a truck in the middle of the night somewhere. We appreciate every single one of you. The comments are great. He's at Sports Talk Matt. I'm at Sports BK Consig. The show is at Boston versus the Book. Tag it. Okay. We live in Vegas. We talk about sports. There's going to be times where we talk about hockey. If you don't like it, fast forward it. We got to start chaptering the shows so they can hit the chapters. I know it's a pain.
It's so much work. I tried doing it.
I thought it was automated. Oh
no, you have to go through and fix it. It's quasi automated, but the times aren't always accurate, and the topics aren't always accurate, and it's sort of like So yes, but I will say this
for the non-NBA guys, or for the NBA guys who don't want to hear us talk about hockey. Sorry. For the hockey guys, sorry, we're going to talk about it all. We're going to talk. I mean, who knows? We're just talking about colonoscopies and two fingers and getting it fixed and checking on the things. I'd rather have a colonoscopy than watch an NBA game, says Johnny Parlay. This is why we need you guys watching the show live, because you come with this stuff. There's times, listen, Addison's been here almost every day for 3.5 years. He gets an F1 portion of the show for about 5 seconds once a month.
Yeah.
And he keeps coming back, which we love. And, he bets it, talks about it. We're not going to talk about it. We can't. I don't know nothing about it. It's not. And all I know is that it blocks traffic and makes it very much a nightmare to get around town.
Sucks here.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
That's all.
But look, I think it's fun. And I've told Dave this off the air before, but like when people are criticizing about the topics in which we are talking about, we're doing something right. I know it sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but you can't please everyone. And there are certain people that like certain things. And as long as we're consistent with the theme of the show, which is basically taking topics that you guys are going to hear in other places, giving our spin and a sports gambling twist to it. I mean, that's pretty much the iteration of what this show, when we started it. Hey, everyone's talking about Luka tonight, right? Okay, let's talk about Luka's props tonight, right? Where's Luka's points total? You know, what's the game going to look like? Lakers are heavy favorites from a gambling perspective, but everyone's talking about Luka, so we'll talk about the same game everyone's talking about, but use gambling information and gambling stats to get into it. So,
but there's going to be times we talk about Ovechkin chasing,
right,
the goal record, and no one else is talking about that except the people in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
So we may hit on something that's there.
Why isn't that a bigger story? It's a good point. It's a good place to start. Why isn't that a bigger story?
Because it's hockey.
But it's history. I mean, Gretzky transcends everything. Everyone knows who Wayne Gretzky is.
Doesn't matter. It's hockey. It's not important to a lot of people. It's just not important. It's fact. I mean, 4 nations. Hockey was at its peak last week. Now everybody's either on vacation, going on vacation, or going, you know what? That was fun, but it's over. And now I got to be subjected to Winnipeg and San Jose, which, by the way, ended up being a tremendous hockey game yesterday. Winnipeg outshot San Jose, led the game for 59 minutes and 37 seconds, pulled the goalie, scored with 23 seconds left, tied the game. They were minus 500 before the game. They were plus 250 when I got off the air with Wetzel. They scored, and a minute and a half in, Scheffler scored and won the game for Winnipeg. It was fun, but the other game was a blowout. 4 goals by the Kings late, 5-2, beat the Knights. Interesting stuff for hockey heads, not for regular people, P-Roll. So they're not interested in Ovechkin and history.
I know. I get the day-to-day stuff. I understand that, like, there's a lot of games and it's a sport that not everyone fully enjoys watching because they haven't played it and or just that they don't follow it. But that's the best record. I mean, that's the record. That's the home run record for baseball, right? What's the most sacred record for in the NHL? It's 894 goals by Gretzky. So Ovechkin getting there and passing him this season. Now you could say, someone said to me, it'll be a bigger story when he's within 5. Like, he's still 13 away.
Right.
So 13 goals in the NHL, even though he got the hat trick in the last game, which was like, whoa, went from 16 to 13 in one game. That took a big jump. He may go a week without scoring.
Correct.
So, like, we don't know how far away we could be. It's late February. It might not be until April for him to break this.
There's a small chance he don't get it this year.
Somebody said that to me too. Said, who's to say he's going to get it this year? And I was like, wait a minute. They're going to be in the postseason. I mean, 13 goals is not that hard between now and the playoffs.
It's regular season, though.
It is, but like between now that they're going to be in playoff. I mean, they're going to be in playoff contention. So he's going to have a chance
for the top seed. I mean,
right.
they're making the playoffs, which may result in him getting rest. He's 39.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder what. So he has to. I think he gets it. 13 between now.
I think he does. I hope he does.
He has 30 games left, right?
A little bit less.
So
somebody in the chat who's a hockey head, Texas, or put in the chat how many games the Capitals have left. Yeah, I think it's like 26.
I think they've played 57 or 58 games. So yeah, so it would be 22, 23 games left. So,
So, I mean, in the chat right now, why it's not important. Chicago Kristen said a lot of people don't know the rules of hockey, don't watch it nearly as much. Does
it matter?
Language barrier. D. Weezy says that there's, it's hard to learn NHL names, different things like that. It makes it hard to follow.
That's crazy.
Listen, these are legit people talking that we know.
Did you see the name of the Red Sox farmhand that's a AAA guy whose name literally is just a bunch of consonants? They call him Password. His nickname is Password.
That's fantastic.
Because it's just X, it's J, X, Y, Z.
No vowels.
It's the most insane name ever. His nickname, they just call him Password. Like, that's what they call him.
I love that.
So
I mean, the baseball stuff is so good with the nicknames and the stuff like that. 25 games left for Washington. Thanks, Lena Scrimmage. Appreciate you. Easiest way to learn the names is playing the video game. That's true.
Here,
you play that.
You tell me, how would you, if you were broadcasting?
Don't make me do this. Oh my
God! If you were
what are we doing to me right now?
If you were broadcasting,
put this up.
How would you say this name?
Red Sox prospect Hosty Nixon. I'd have to say, I think the J is silent, and I would go Hosty, and I would pretend that there's an I and say Nixon. Hosty Nixon Garcia. I'd have no idea how to say that. I don't know.
I still don't know how to say it. They just call him.
What position does he play?
So he is a Red Sox outfielder. He's 22 years old. And if you hold on, I'll say how you say it. You say it. His name is. Hold on, I'm listening. How you say it?
Hosty? Yosty? Y. You say J like a Y. Yosty Nixon Garcia.
Justin Garcia is his name.
Justin
Garcia is how you say that.
Now that's ridiculous. I mean, listen. Muhammad Ali said, say my name. What? Justin
Garcia.
Justin? I mean, what part of Justin do you see out of J. Hosty Nixon?
I didn't think they call him the nickname. They call him the password, which I think is the funniest thing in the world. the STNX is silent.
5 letters in a row. 5 letters in a row, JPC. The Stinks is silent.
That's awesome.
Pucci. Yep. I mean, how do you say this? Enrique Villanueva. I'm Latino, and I don't know how to say that. If you guys don't know how to say it, you know I can butcher it. Somebody with a Spanish accent come up here and say that for us.
I don't even know if that's Spanish. To be completely honest, I'm not sure that's Spanish. I mean, he's from. He was a Rule 5 draft pick by the Red Sox. He's a developmental guy. Where is he from? He's from Venezuela.
Okay.
He's Venezuelan.
Damn. Yeah, that's.
Good.
Cut my chest hurts. That ain't Spanish, Rincon. It don't look like it. That's a mix of something.
I don't know what that is.
This is what the street names. This is what the street names of Curacao look like.
Really?
When I moved down there, and I woke up after I landed at night. And my buddy, the rabbi, who wasn't Jewish, picked me up and said, "We're going to the apartment. Can you believe you're here?" Blah 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 blah. We're driving in the dark to this apartment, take my bags out, get in the apartment, try to go to sleep. Wake up, sun was shining. We get in this car and we drive. And I remember going, first of all, what are all these windmills doing down there? There was a lot of windmills.
Okay.
There's stray goats and dogs everywhere on the island, everywhere. So as we're driving, I'm looking at the street signs and they're all like 13 letters with 2 vowels. And I said, "Do you know where you're going?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, I've been going to the office back and forth for 6 months. Why?" I said, "Well, because if I get lost, I can't even ask for directions. I don't even know how to say one word of any road that we went on to get here." Justinson? That's unbelievable.
Justin Garcia.
Justinson.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
It's awesome. I saw it. I just think it's the best nickname in baseball right now. It's called the password.
No question.
Like I didn't want to know. I want to know how hard everybody fell down laughing when somebody called him. You know what, dude? I'm just calling you the password. I'm done.
Right.
I can't say your name. You're the password.
You're the password.
I would have fallen down laughing and rolled around and be like, "Sorry, man. I don't mean to laugh at your name, but that's too good." Like that's just the best nickname in baseball.
Right.
So if you watch the Red Sox, he is when they do split squads, he's playing. So he's an outfielder. Is getting some time. He's 21 years old.
I got to get to Winter Haven. I mean, I'll be down. I got to go. I might go
down there.
Try to meet this guy.
Yeah, go see him there. So that's just say, and listen to how it gets. Yeah, the auto-generated password. That's a good point too. It's not even like a picked password.
Right.
It's an auto-generated password.
Listen, and parents, you guys that are having kids and girls that are having kids, don't do this to your kid. I mean, you go to school and they say, "What's your name?" And you say Justin. And you say, "All right, how do you spell it?" JHOSTYNXON. No. That involves calling your parents. Hey, he said his name was Justinson, but he spelled J. Hosty Nixon.
J. Hosty Nixon. I think what is really good about this is that the Red Sox kind of leaned into this, and they were the ones like tweeting it out, calling him the password. So like everyone's fully in on the joke. Like there's no like,
That's fantastic.
He likes it. Everyone likes it. So there's no like bad news or bad blood about this being like, leave him alone. Don't make fun of him. Cause I mean, the Red Sox, this is their own tweet.
The password gets us started. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of
Justin
this.
Justin Nixon Garcia,
So
21-year-old.
I mean, there's 2 O's. So if you buy a vowel, you get 2 O's, and then you're left with all those blank letters in Hangman. You're dead. You got no shot at getting it.
I don't know how you get Justin though. I just that's where
that's just made up.
The NXON being son is really like, wait, how in what language is that son?
They just made that up.
Justison. Okay, sure. 100%.
Alario is his middle name? That is fantastic work, Dave's Daily Picks. I got to get that on. I'm going to put that on the wall somewhere and just say that every day. Justison Alario Garcia. This guy got to get in the lineup.
It does not look like the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, I don't. And so there you go on that. Okay, enjoy spring training. You can go and hunt down that name if you got it. What happened last night? Teams were 0 for 1,152 entering the fourth quarter down 24 or more points in the NBA. The last 1,152 times this happened, OKC would have won the game. They did not. They blew it to Ant and the T-Wolves, who won the game in overtime.
He didn't even play the last 4 minutes. They were down 16 with 4 minutes to go, and he pulled Ant. And listen, Marcus, I watched it. It was great. Most teams empty the bench and mail it in. They go on a 16-0 run. Ant makes a huge block of SGA right before and wins, gets to overtime, and they win the game in overtime. It was almost impossible. They turned the in-game money line off. There was no money line. Then the guy had to turn it back on because it was like, well, geez,
maybe
win. Someone will bet the T-Wolves, give them 15 to 1, 20 to 1, whatever it was. Because once it's so big, there's no use in having it up. Nobody's betting it. And if they take a shot on the dog, then you left flipping the wrong side. Somebody bets you at 22 to 1 for 100 or a dime, you blow 22,000. So it usually gets turned off. That was crazy. I mean, it's the first time ever that happened.
Not ever. It's the first time in the last 1,153 NBA games in which a team entered the fourth quarter up by 24 or more points.
Where'd you get that stat?
Yahoo Sports.
Thank you, Yahoo Sports. That's outstanding.
So long time ago. It was a long time ago that this happened where teams up by 24 or more points. Like you just don't lose this game. You win.
I'm guessing down 24 or more doesn't happen that often. It probably happens a little bit more now in the modern day NBA than it used to. But that is that is incredible. I saw the post game with SGA and they were like kind of saying, what do you take from this? And he's like, I'd rather do this right now in the regular season than in the playoffs. I mean, and learn how to play with a 20-point lead with 4 minutes to go. Can't lose that game. So
different level of intensity in the playoffs, though. I mean, you aren't going to take your foot off the gas the same way in the postseason. Nor are you up 24 points going into the fourth quarter often in the playoffs.
Sometimes you are, but like D Weezy just said it in the chat, it made me feel good about my Nuggets and Lakers futures. You're not alone.
Right.
I'm sure.
Well, that's my takeaway too. That's my question is that did you feel differently about the Thunder after that game?
I don't, but that is fuel for the fire. If the Lakers go and destroy the Mavs tonight, and it's possible based on the number, it is -9 right now. There's going to be talk that a veteran Laker team now with Luka and LeBron, if they match up, is going to beat these young kids in OKC. That's exactly what's going to be said. And or if it's not the Lakers, it's going to be the Denver Nuggets, who won, recovered, whatever it is, bounced back from their loss on Saturday to the Lakers.
I agree with Nick Tom here.
What's that?
Thunder are being treated like the Celtics when they should not be.
Oh.
A lot of people feel like this. Look at the numbers, right? Look at the market. It's Boston and Oklahoma City. Now, you could say that's because of the path, or that OKC is going to win the West. And so really they should be behind Boston, but not that far behind Boston because 4 wins against the Celtics and they win the championship. I don't think the Thunder are a lock to win the West. Like not even close.
No, odds wise, they look like to be, but they're not.
No, they're not.
I have to comment real quick because I'm just really noticing that you wore an orange shirt today, and I started the show with an orange hat, and we're coordinating. We did not talk for more than 30 seconds before the show.
No.
I just want to say, like, people think that we coordinate this stuff. No. We don't. All right, we're just giving you a full behind-the-scenes look. No. So when you go back and watch different shows, because you're going to be missing the show, tell the truth. You guys are going to be missing the show tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday at minimum. So you guys will have to find something else to do during the ish time. But this looks really good. Like the orange hat, the orange shirt, the this and that. OKC is going to be fine. But there's people that are saying exactly that. Nick Tom says the Thunder are minus 125 before last night to win the West. Favorite.
Fade it.
There's going to be there's going to be people that will say to do that. They're not losing in the first round.
No, but they might lose in the second or the third.
Well, right now it's shaping up that it's going to be Denver and the Lakers 2-3.
Well, yeah, we got a ways to go, though. We got a lot of basketball to find out who's going to be in what. Then the play-in game has to happen and everything. The play-in tournament's got to happen and everything else. There's a lot. I just don't – look, I like the Thunder a lot. We'll get to the MVP conversation here in a second. But it's like everyone thinks that SGA is a runaway for the MVP, and everyone thinks OKC is a runaway for the West. And I don't think either one is accurate. I think both are questioned, should be questioned more than they are right now. Yeah, look, Fathead, you're not wrong. You're not wrong with saying
Warriors,
this. Okay?
Fathead, you're right. The Warriors are coming.
I mean, this is where Draymond Green looked dead in the camera and said, "We're winning the championship." And everybody was like, and then you watch them play with Jimmy Butler and you're like, hold on a second. Like, they have been statistically the best offensive basketball team in the NBA since they acquired Jimmy Butler. Like, the Warriors are not going to be just an also-ran in the playoffs. They're going to put up a fight.
They got another dog to help Steph. And Jimmy's on a mission. I mean, he does it every year. Everybody talks about playoff Jimmy Butler. Now he's doing it with the Warriors. And they're near the bottom. They got nothing to go but up. I mean, just listen, the Western Conference playoffs. Told you guys back in December, which is why we're going to Circa in Franklin, Kentucky to do a show for the SEC tournament. Can kind of see things happening based on experience, based on whatever, that the SEC was going to be the best basketball conference it is. The Western Conference playoffs are going to be electric. We're talking about basketball as much as we can, not enough for the NBA heads that love the show, which we'll try to do better. Okay, when we come back from the break, we'll try to do better. But the Western Conference playoffs are going to be tremendous. Excellent. Okay.
I mean, it is wild to watch. Excuse me. The Warriors are 30-27. They are 16 games behind the Thunder, but they're only 1 game back in the loss column of the Clippers to get out of the play-in.
Right.
Like, the Warriors could get themselves the Rockets might not be catchable, but they're 5 games behind in the loss column to the Rockets for the Warriors to do that. But the T-Wolves, Mavericks, and Warriors all have 27 losses. The Clippers have 26 losses. The Rockets have 22. Lakers have 21. That's the 4 seed. The Lakers are the 4 seed right now. Like,
yeah.
We'll see what we play out here, but like,
and nobody said, you didn't even say Memphis.
Well, because they're 30-27. I mean, sorry, 37-20, excuse me. So they're 7 games up in the loss column. It's hard to see the Warriors catching Memphis or Denver for that matter. That's a leap.
But if you go through that, OKC.
Yep. 46-11. OKC.
Who's the 2 seed?
Denver, 38-20.
Denver. Memphis.
37-20. Lakers 34-21.
I still think out of this bunch so far, any one of them could win the West.
Agreed.
Then you go to the Clippers, and you want to believe, and the Clippers people believe, but like Vegas Greg G, Geno Silver now, he keeps changing his name. He cut the cord with the Clippers yesterday. He doesn't want to fall for it again. He said he's tired of it. But that's a team that's sitting right there that I think people will try to root home and get in. But if they get the wrong first round matchup, they're a fade automatic. Then you get the Warriors.
Well, the Rockets are still
you get the Rockets.
No one knows what the Rockets are.
Come playoff time, you don't. You know what they are right now.
Well, they're swooning. They're 3-7 over the last 10.
Yeah.
They're starting to slide. So everyone's like, okay, now the real Rockets are standing up. This young team is running out of gas, which could be the case, or maybe just a lull in the season and they'll come back up, come March, they'll play better. But I don't know if anyone really knows what they're going to wind up with. Right now, they're the 5 seed, but could they wind up as the 3 seed? Potentially. They're only 2 games out of the 3 seed.
7 and having to play a play-in?
Yes. Yep, or they could drop all the way down. Yeah, absolutely. They're only 5 games away from the play-in. So they keep on losing.
Look at Big Sis Lisa. Big Sis Lisa just popped into the chat. The Lakers are coming on strong and could surprise people with a surprising NBA playoff run.
I seem to remember you and I saying that a week and a half ago and everybody crapping on us saying like, I said the Lakers could very well win the West. And everyone's like, do you see what they did against this team and that team? I'm like, I'm just telling you, the Lakers are going to be a pain in the ass. Like they're not going anywhere. They have Luka and LeBron. Come the playoffs, nobody wants to play LeBron in the playoffs. Nobody in the West. And now Luka's there. Oh my. Like we haven't seen that trade. Like tonight's going to be wild because of the fact that it's Luka against the Mavericks for the first time. But we haven't really seen the trade fully come to fruition because Luka's not 100% back yet.
Well, Saturday night was a pretty good indicator. They beat the Nuggets by 23 at Denver.
Yeah.
That was the first game where I went, okay.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Like what the Nuggets have been their kryptonite the last couple years. And Luka took out a bunch of people last year on Dallas. Now he got LeBron and help. And listen, say what you want about JJ Redick. Something's going on in the positive. Like it's working.
The fire stuff is gone now. They can focus on basketball. Yeah. But Nick Tom, it's not that I'm a LeBron guy. I'm a realist. I mean, LeBron at 40 years old in the playoffs, nobody wants to face him. This could be it. This might be his last hurrah. He's going to empty the tank. And now he's got, look, LeBron may be the best player of all time. I think it's MJ and then LeBron 1-2, but there are arguments to be had. Luka might be Batman and Robin might be LeBron in the playoffs. Like that's crazy to say, but that's
look at this LeBVB.
I know people hate him. I get it. I know why. I know why you guys hate him, but Luka might be the guy. Luka might be the guy scoring 40 in the postseason, and LeBron gets 20. Like it's not crazy. LeBron has said he's willing to acquiesce to Luka and let it be his team and let him be along for the ride, which is a pretty big admission and a pretty big move if it happens to get them deep into the postseason. So like, I don't know.
Fathead, I think you could buy. So he just came in the chat and said, Boston with Lakers, Warriors, Nuggets, exact as I feel is the way to go.
Fair.
Not bad. But take a shot on them big price ones with the Grizzlies. Take a big, on
Houston.
a big price one with the Warriors. There's a couple other ones. You can't just
give
get
me the
2
Warriors.
or 3.
Celtics Warriors 2.0. Please give me them. Because Jimmy Butler is literally the boogeyman for the Boston Celtics. Like you want to talk about a lock-in hatred war between 2 franchises, Jimmy Butler on the Warriors, who knocked out the Celtics 2 years ago in the Eastern Conference Finals when he was with the Miami Heat. Boston hates Jimmy Butler, team and fan base. Warriors Celtics final would be epic. Epic.
I hope Cleveland doesn't ruin it for everybody. What if Cleveland beats them?
Beats Boston?
Yeah. No.
Only way that happens if Porzingis gets hurt. Porzingis has to be out. If he's out, fine, I'll listen. But if they have KP, there's nobody that can match it up. For Cleveland, they can't match it. Like he's just a unicorn. Like you just can't handle a 7-foot guy going outside and hitting the shots he hits and then rebounding and rim protecting and everything he does. Porzingis on the Celtics is a cheat code. It's absolute cheat code.
The East is getting interesting. There's Daniel G. Detroit basketball. They won again last night.
7 in a row.
That's pretty good stuff. I think
7 wins in a row.
Playoffs. Yeah.
It's the most wins in the last 10 years, right? for Detroit in a row to win 7 straight games?
I spoke to some guys today about possibly getting to Detroit to do a show in April.
Oh,
I said we would be interested because not only is I think the Pistons going to make the playoffs, but the Red Wings are going to make the playoffs.
agreed.
So might be a fun time to be in the 3-1-3.
Guys, I'm going to institute a chat rule. Never done this before.
Uh-oh.
Can you please not put spring training games up?
Oh, do it more. Royals lead 4-0 in the first with 0 outs. Thank you, JC from KC.
It's spring training.
It might have been in the bingo card today. Tuesdays is bingo,
fine.
BVB bingo. Anything can happen.
That is the dumbest thing you can literally write in the chat. A spring training score. Like betting spring training is bad enough. Even following it along and tweeting about it might be even worse. Like, what are we doing? Like, come on, guys. Don't need to be posting about
I love
spring
it.
training.
You can keep doing it, JC from KC.
No,
There's
you
no
don't need
rules.
to. Who's playing? Who's pitching? The password? Like, who's playing in these games? Like, we know who these guys are. Like, what are we doing?
There's a lot of there's a lot of questions about the names and the scores. And like today's, there's a lot of split squad games.
Yes.
I remember someone asked me at the counter, are we going to have this game today, like Mariners and A's? And I said, it's a split squad game. And they're like, well, what's that mean? And I went to the guy next to me at the counter. I said, he's asking to bet the game, and he don't know what a split squad game is. I said, we should give him a line.
Take it whenever he wants.
Right? Like, what? How do you not know?
How much do you want to bet? We'll take whatever you want.
That was like the next question. I mean, the stuff I could have done on the side and the joints where I was like, wait, he don't know.
Oh, God.
What? No, we're not going to have it. No. We'll show it on the TV. No betting on it. Yeah. Who's pitching the password? I told you the story the first time I was down in Florida for spring training.
Yeah.
A guy named Paco Alvarez was pitching. He came in to pitch for the Expos. This is how long ago it was. And when he came in, they put his name up as Taco. Taco Alvarez. So I can't help myself. There's like 2,000 people in the stadium. It's the 7th inning. It's scorching hot. And here comes Taco to get his work in. Said, hey, Taco, keep the ball down. And everyone around me looked like, why'd you call him Taco? And I pointed up at the board. The public address announcer changed it to a P. He had it wrong. He hit He hit the T instead of the P. He must have been hungry. It was getting close to lunchtime or something. So you never know. I can't imagine the PA announcer having Justin Garcia come up and going, what do I say?
What do I say? How do I announce this? How do I pronounce this? How do I write this?
Hey,
just write password.
What does that say? Password. Now batting for the Boston Red Sox. Number 7, password.
Oh, that'd be great if someone could do that. That would be tremendous. You mentioned Jokic last night, career high in a single game for assists with 19. Only him and Wilt Chamberlain can lay claim to this, having over 19 or more assists in an NBA basketball game as a center. Indiana got smoked at times. 18 points, 9 rebounds for Jokic. He's averaging over 10 assists per game. He's number 2 in the NBA in assists. He plays center. He's not a guard.
Appreciate it while you can. Appreciate it while you can. This is again something unusual, different, and again, we watch the games. Marcus, Richard, whoever else, watch Jokic play. It's fun.
Tell me this.
What? Why
is this number like this?
Well, because it is a 2-person race, period.
SGA is minus 500 plus 340. This is over according to the odds.
Have you heard of that thing where they vote for the other guy because they don't want to give it to the same guy over and over and over?
I have, which makes the voting even more stupid than the actual betting on it.
Thank you.
It's dumb. I don't understand this. Like, if a guy is setting historic numbers,
yes,
he's averaging a triple-double.
Yes.
And we're going to give it to SGA because he hasn't won it before?
Yeah.
Hold on. Then you're completely it
compromises the vote.
Absolutely. It compromises the integrity of the vote.
Correct.
It makes it a joke. It makes it a popularity contest.
It's ridiculous.
We aren't going to who cares if he's won it 3 times? Who cares if he won it 10 times? Who cares if he won it 100 times? Is he the most valuable player in the NBA? His numbers, we haven't seen this before. He's doing something in the NBA where Jokic has always been a unicorn, but now he's taking it to another level. This arguably is his best season.
So let's play the game. Remove SGA from OKC. Remove Jokic from Denver. Who's more valuable?
The reason why I'm going to say Jokic is just because the supporting cast, even though he does have Murray and he does have MPJ, you look at the young talent and the number of lottery picks that are on that Thunder roster. Yes, injuries have been a big factor for the Thunder this year. I think Jokic, it would be a much bigger drop off if you took Jokic off of the Nuggets.
Give the kids a pull. I don't want to hear any crap about us not talking about the NBA and bad rapping the NBA all the time. We're doing an NBA poll, despite the fact that probably half our audience is like, would you two stop it? That's fine. It's for you guys, the NBA guys. Who is the MVP? SGA or Joker?
So there's no other way. No one else can do it.
No. Who on that list? Put that screen back up.
Can't do everything at once.
I know. Sorry. That's why we need a producer so we can do the show and we'll produce and we get graphics guys. We got dreams, hopes, wishes for all of it. We're hoping to get there.
You want the graphic? Hold on.
Yes. But I mean, look at the names on the list. Well, okay. You're going to vote for Giannis? No. Tatum? That's a great season, but no. Right. Ant? Come on. Cat?
No. God, Cat.
Please stop. I mean, you've already gone too far, Dave. All these names on the list. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
it's two people.
Yeah. If Boston was having like a historic year or if Tatum was putting up insane numbers, I might actually buy into that, but I can't buy into it right now. It doesn't happen. Like,
I'll be interested to see where the votes go.
I mean, if I had a vote, I'd vote for Jokic. If I had a vote, I don't have a vote, but I mean, the guy averaging a triple-double.
Correct. Guy averaging a triple-double is pretty good.
The MVP.
Pretty good. 1 star.
It's hard to argue. Averaging a triple-double. I just don't understand look, it's one thing if you say SGA is the MVP. Okay. It's an $8 difference. Like, this is not just
we had Kazarian on in the Super Bowl and that week, and he said it. The markets are made up. They're made up markets on people voting.
Right.
So the prices don't mean, listen, I'm going to send you out with a bang, Will. Sorry. They don't mean shit. They're wide ranging. They're gaps. There's minuses and pluses. It's all based on individual book handle. One can be one thing at one book and one can be at another book. It's clear that these two are the only choices.
Fine.
If it was our book, would you feel better if it was minus 120 and even money and said pick them?
Yeah.
Would that be more fair?
I think it's more indicative of how the vote's going to go. Remember what happened for the MVP vote in the NFL, where everyone thought Lamar Jackson had no shot at winning it. Josh Allen won it, but he won it by a tiny margin.
Correct.
Like, he just won it. If you looked at the numbers all year long.
So this could happen again. You're saying this could be a redo.
This could be a redo where maybe he winds up winning it, but maybe there's 2 voters that flip and all of a sudden Jokic wins because they didn't count the right votes at the 12th hour when all the voting comes in, and it's like, oh my, we had those 2 guys on SGA's card. Now these guys are on Jokic's card, and now Jokic is going to win the MVP. It almost happened with Lamar Jackson. He almost won it because they had miscounted guys who voted late. They voted Lamar over Josh Allen, and Josh Allen just won it. But if you look at the markets, it was like this. Josh Allen was minus 400 for almost the entire season to win the MVP.
Well, a lot of times, too, these markets may be based on what bets you've taken already, too.
Okay.
So, like,
driving business.
We may be a little bit heavy. Yeah, we may be a little bit heavy in some joints on SGA, but we can't give away the store
on
Jokic. I mean, I would bring the price down. No one's going to complain if you have minus 540. I could give you plus $2.
Right.
Like, so if you think or you voted here on the poll that Joker can win it, you probably should already have it or take it soon at plus 340. There's 20 games left, essentially. 23, some 22, whatever. But say if one of them gets hurt and misses 5 or 6 games,
yeah,
it flips it. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be big. I mean, obviously injuries factor dramatically into it, but yeah, that would be a way that Jokic could win it because he would go instantly to the lead if SGA got hurt at all. Thunder prices would be, I mean, they would throw everything out of whack if SGA got hurt. Luka tonight.
Oh, baby.
Expectations.
Oh, baby.
Lakers -9, 31.5. Over or under 31.5 points for Luka tonight. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I don't think it's automatic.
It's not. It's not even close to being automatic. You don't think
surprised by the total in the game? I mean, it's Lakers -9, 231 is the total.
No. That's fine.
It seems a little high.
We're going to see no defense tonight.
You think?
Yeah, this is going to be a track meet. Yeah, this is the prevailing opinion is 31.5 is not high enough. That's the prevailing thought.
Well, if you guys are watching the show right now, look at your books wherever you're at. What's the juice on that? Chris Zale says under. The juice says he took the under.
I think it was.
Oh, geez, Jimmy Football says he's going to play, right? Yes.
Yeah,
Jimmy, he better play.
My God, FanDuel. It's -114 on both sides. It's down to 30.5 now.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers. Wetzel asked me last night when we looked ahead to this game, and he said, Dave, what's your number? And I said, you bet whether he's going to score 30 or not. That was my number. I said, You either make it 29.5 or 30.5. 30.5 juice under, 29.5 with juice over.
This is 30.5 juice on both sides.
Okay. So they went a little high knowing that people were going to bet it automatically.
Well, now it's 30.5 -114 on both sides.
Yeah. So they were at 31.5 and moved it.
Yeah.
That's good. Move the number, boys and girls, wherever you're at working. FanDuel, I know you watched the show. Appreciate you guys watching the show.
Explain this to me, though, because
I mean, if FanDuel wants to sponsor the show, we'll take the call.
Of course.
Just email us.
He's saying juice me.
gmail.com.
Why are we now putting juice on both sides of a bet? Why is that?
It was -110, -110. Now we just have accepted it at places. It's -114, -114.
Right. So it would be
terrible.
Why is that okay? Why isn't it not -115, -105? Like what? Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we dealing with 10-cent lines? And why isn't that more well known? Where it's just accepted now that this price is what I mean, it doesn't make any sense when I look at it. Like you're charging me the same price for both sides of the bet, and we're just okay with that. Like no one.
I mean, that's why we tell people shop around, because it's not like that everywhere. But at the biggest places, you don't always get the best prices. It's actually, and Butchie calls it the European model. I see you working, Butchie. Deuces. That's what they do, and let's get it while we get it and make it normal. And then they have all the business. They have all the marketing. They control the price. So it's not, I'm not saying it's right, but like, this is how things evolve.
So, and then it goes to like this, right? DraftKings has Luka's to score 31 or more points, 31 plus.
Okay. So 31 wins.
31 wins.
Okay, so it's 30.5 essentially.
31 or what do you think the price is that?
Well, it should be plus based on that other price, but it's probably -120.
-145.
145.
It's -145.
So now all of a sudden -114 looks pretty damn good.
It does. But that's like, what are we doing? Like -145.
Listen, we got to get it while we can get it. Listen, the government guys are going to change the taxes and everything else. So we could we need to slide it in there on games when people are watching. Yeah, it's probably going to be the most bet prop of the night.
There's no debate. There's absolutely no debate. It's going to be the most bet prop of the night. But I just look at it and I'm like, what? Like, this is so bizarre because like DraftKings has now started this like new dynamic pricing for their props.
Yeah.
So you can bet for Luka tonight, you can bet over 30 if you want. 30 or more is -175.
Oh.
You could bet 25 or more, which is -400. Yeah, -475.
Okay. Did the math.
It goes 30 to 31, but there is no 32, 33, or 34. It goes right to 35.5. Sorry, 35. 35 or more points at +120.
Oh,
Then it goes up by 5 again to 40, which is plus 295. So like the laddering that they give you the chance to ladder it, but they don't give you normal increments to ladder it.
No.
It just, it goes 1, then 5, like 30, 31, 35, 40.
Obviously, not a math guy doing that. That's pretty good. There's Tyler White. Good to see you in here, Tyler. Hopefully you didn't pick up none of them chips at Cherokee when that guy flipped that poker table. But he said Caesars has 31.5 under minus 129 and over minus 106. Woof.
Nice price.
That's minus on minus 129, and you can't even find a plus. That's tough. That's tough pricing right there.
Yeah, and DK does not offer the under. That's right. They're not offering the under in that prop. They've eliminated that market.
What do you mean you
can't bet under?
Can't bet he's not going to get that number?
You can bet up to like 35 plus and bet. No, you can't. There is no market. Yeah, that's right.
Can't bet under. That's fantastic.
There's no under bet. Yeah, that's right. There is no under.
It's unbelievable.
Yep. DK is taking away unders on points on all props. Wow. You can't bet under on any prop. Double, yes. There is no. There's no market for a no with Luka or anybody for that matter.
Nick Tom just found under. Hold on.
Where?
Breaking news. They do have an under. Chef Benny says.
Oh.
Where's it at? Find it. Just on his points prop. Just go look at his points prop.
I'm looking at it. I mean, I'm looking at it right now.
You just have to scroll down a bit and look harder. Pause.
Scroll down a bit and look harder. Okay.
Pause. Chef Benny. I don't even know what you're talking about. The Luka.
I got points, and all the points is only plus. So let's go down. Harder. Double, rebounds, assists, threes, most points and rebounds, first half, team totals.
You have to go to the over-under section, the boys are saying.
The over-under
section.
Well, that's just on purpose. Make it as hard as damn possible.
Oh, for sure.
To find if you want to bet unders, you have to go as hard as possible to go ahead and find these props.
So Butchie's got 0 to 27, 28 to 33, and 34 plus.
Those are skill shots. Those are hard. Skill shots are not easy.
0 to 27 is fair. 28 to 33 is fair, and then over 34. That tells me that the guys in the books think it's going to fall between 28 and 33.
Which makes sense.
Right. Do you think he has that game tonight? Like, is it Luka's game?
I mean, I guess so, but he's going to be the focal point of everything that the Mavericks try to stop. So, like, I think the Mavericks would be more comfortable. I'd be more inclined to bet LeBron over tonight than Luka.
Right.
Like, you stop Luka at all costs. You can't get embarrassed like that. Like, Nico Harrison's probably walking into the locker room going, like, at all costs, that dude ain't beating us by 40. Like, we aren't letting him drop a 40 spot on us tonight. Get after him, get in his ass type of thing.
Whoa.
You gotta be after it.
We know where you were this morning. I think that was a bit inappropriate. You might have gone a little too far with that.
Nah, it's fine.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks to Football God. They have unders. Okay. I can't find it. So I can't find the unders. But I'm looking at the desktop version of DraftKings and I can't find the unders. I don't bet props at DraftKings. So this is exposing myself a bit on this. I don't bet their prop markets. I don't bet at DraftKings very often, to be honest with you, at all. So, but
this Nick Tom says DraftKings has 31 plus at minus 145 at one spot in their app, and farther in the app is minus 125 for over 30 and a half. It's the same bet, different prices.
Much different price.
Guys at DraftKings, we're not besmirching you. We're just telling you we're doing your work here for you. Thank you, Nick Tom, for that public service announcement.
Oh, so it's not under the okay. So DraftKings is now interesting. Okay, this is what they're doing. They're listing popular bets. And that's where the laddering comes in. Or if you go into player points, that's where you can find player points over under, which is 30 and a half, over 30 and a half minus 125, which is 31 plus, which is minus 145, or under 30 and a half at minus 105.
Okay.
20-cent line.
Yeah, minus 125, minus 105 under. LeBron's 24 and a half.
Yeah.
Under is minus 125. Huh. Wow.
Yeah, I would be more inclined to take the LeBron price personally.
How about Austin Reeves over?
You like Austin Reeves? Okay.
I mean, as an alternate source, if you don't think it's going to be Luka, it's going to be one of them.
Right.
Oh, DraftKings might have 2 different feeds feeding them numbers too. Another interesting note.
2 different feeds.
Yeah, it's terrible. If anybody really knew what was going on, you wouldn't like it. You wouldn't like it. And it's a lot of things. I mean, you have different odds providers. Like,
so hold on. Let's do this. Let's expose an ARB opportunity here. So
Right.
if you want to go under, if you want to bet over 30,
Under 31.5.
Well, no, because it's 30 or more is minus 175. And then under 30.5 is minus 105. So you have to find. So the better ARB would be it's not. Yeah, you can't really do that. That's not really an ARB opportunity.
Yeah.
Different books you could do it, not at the same book.
Right.
So they at least have the defense for ARBing within their own bet, with their own app.
At the beginning, but I mean the same. It's the same damn bet.
But you can't tell us to shush about this. We're going to tell you how to ARB. Let's teach the audience about ARBing. Let's do it. Let's ARB. Let's go ahead and find ARBing opportunities. I know for a fact.
ARB spells backwards.
Bra. Holds things
Not
up.
bro. Hey, bro.
When
we say bra,
yeah,
we're saying the other thing.
BRUH is bra.
Bruh. BRUH.
But I like the idea. There are a lot of guys in our audience, and Addison's one of them,
bolt-ons,
that will do. They don't need bras for bolt-ons. It's part of the fun. But so the thing about the ARBing that goes on, Addison. I mean, we got guys in our chat who do this all the time, that look to ARB all the time. It's tremendous.
Yeah,
and it's really smart. I know you can get you banned, but it's smart. Like, there's definitely some books that will let you and welcome the ARB opportunities on this. Yes, I did see that Hubert Davis got extended. We'll do college basketball here in a second. I have no idea why the hell they did that, but it is what it is.
Fine.
Well, speaking of college basketball, how about this? This is another example. Yahoo Sports points this out today. Another example of why preseason polls are stupid. Look at this list. Look at this.
Right.
This is your preseason AP poll. Kansas is not ranked. UConn was 3rd. They're not ranked.
They're not ranked now. Right. So preseason on the left, current on the right.
Correct. The red numbers are
people listening to this too. We have to explain this. You're a radio guy.
Fine. The red numbers are teams that are not currently in the top 10.
So for those of you that are listening to this later, Kansas was ranked 1, UConn was ranked 3, Gonzaga was 6,
Baylor was
8, and North Carolina was 9.
That's half of the top 10 is not just out of the top 10, Dave. They're not ranked in the top 25.
Top 25, yeah.
Oh. 3 teams were unranked who are currently in the top 10. St. John's at 7, Michigan State at 8, and Texas Tech at 10. So here's the question.
You already know my answer.
What's the answer?
Ask the question. I didn't mean to hit the buzzer before. Ask the question.
Is it the transfer portal or is it the media not paying attention? Which is more significant to being this wrong?
You know where I went to college, right?
And
this goes back years. There's people voting in these things that don't know, and that's fine. But that's their job to know. And there's other people, and I only know this because you told me, and then I asked around because I fact check you all the time too.
Go ahead.
And I said, do people really just like give these other people the voting thing and say to vote, send it in? I'm too busy. And
coaches poll.
Yeah.
Not the AP poll. It's the coaches poll.
No, listen, I'm sure there's people in the media that outsource that too.
If you're outsourcing your AP ballot, you should be fired on the spot.
Preseason poll?
Anything. If your name is on a ballot for a AP preseason, in season, I don't care, and you're a media member and you're outsourcing it to somebody else, you should be fired. That's malpractice.
They've been bad.
They have
years. The preseason stuff has been bad.
But the coaches poll is worse because the coaches, when I say they outsource it, it's the coaches poll that outsources it. The head coach is not doing this. It's all of the minions underneath the head coach who
I
are
would
voting.
give the minions more credit. I would think they would know more. Well, no, because the coach is busy coaching his team.
Fair.
Like he can only say what would Coach Saban know about the teams in the Pac-12 back when he was in Alabama? He's so focused on his third string backup and this and that. He ain't worried about what UCLA's doing.
Yeah.
He ain't playing them. So how would he have a vote that would matter? So the preseason polls got to stop, period.
It's harder too. I think it has a lot to do with the transfer portal, because I think St. John's is the clear-cut example of this, because of the kids that were brought in for St. John's. Remember last year, Rick Pitino said that they couldn't rebound. They were so soft. I mean, he was so mad at the roster he had. And now they're a top 10 team with 3 incredibly difficult long forwards and guards that they can press you and they can turn you over like constantly throughout the basketball game. That's the transfer portal. I mean, that's just not seeing how quickly. No one thought Pitino would be back in the top 10 in year 2 at St. John's. They should have, because year 2, everywhere he has been his most successful season. National championship at Kentucky, Final Four with Providence. Like, this is just what he does in year 2. Pitino has a magic formula that takes one full season, and then the next year he takes heads off, and he's doing that at St. John's now.
It's impossible to know where kids are, where they're going, how they're going to mesh.
Yeah,
Preseason poll, completely worthless now, especially in college basketball. But at least it doesn't affect as much in college basketball, thank God, as it does in college football.
Right.
You know, it can affect it basically determined the playoff, who got in and who didn't, because of the preseason poll bias. And they didn't have to go as far, or they didn't fall as far because they started ahead of everybody else. They ended up in the 4 spot when there were only 4 teams. Now, at least we got a shot with the expansion. Other teams can get in. The poll shouldn't start until mid-October in football. The first poll should be Halloween.
Well, they do that.
7 games.
Yeah. They do the ranking now for the playoffs.
Exactly.
They've now adopted that for the college football playoffs. And it comes out in October. But we still have the AP poll and the coaches poll for that matter. It doesn't factor into the playoffs.
So who looks at the college basketball polls?
Fans, bettors.
Bettors don't. I'll push back on that.
Good bettors. Good bettors do.
And
the public who bet off the numbers all the time.
Yeah, well, you got to stop doing that.
Okay, we know what happens. Right. People who has a ranked number next to their name gets bet.
Yeah.
That's just public nature. Like, oh, they must know something. No, they don't.
No, yeah, stop that. If you guys are doing that, don't do that. It doesn't help you. It only hurts you.
No, I think at one point this year, teams at home who were favored against ranked road teams, the home team was 9-0 straight up in those games.
Okay.
I mean, just the numbers tell you way more of a story than the rankings do.
Without a doubt. The numbers when the books are taking bets, you have to have these power ratings and rankings and know the difference between. I don't care. I never ever looked at the rankings ever in the book ever. Like they would put it on the sheet. There might be. Let me see. I have an old sheet here. See if I have. They don't even put it on the sheet.
Right, but FanDuel and DraftKings do for a reason.
Well, it gives people something to talk about.
What? FanDuel and DraftKings don't need something to talk about. They know
just
people bet off
for fans. Like
they'll bet off of it. I mean, that's
people,
they'll bet off of it. I mean, it's why it's on FanDuel and DraftKings. Like when you look at it, the rankings are next to the name. If you go to Vegas books, there's no rankings on the Vegas books.
You know why? Because I mean, they can find the teams by their preseason ranking and know that it's them versus scrolling. One of the most ridiculous things that have happened with the Euro book transfer over in the software is that there's no game numbers no more.
Right.
You used to be able to just look at the game number of a game. Today, Boston's playing Toronto. It's 565, 566. That's the rotation number. It was that here in Nevada. It was that here in New Jersey. It was that wherever you were at, it was a bet number. And it didn't matter. They were ranked, none of that stuff. So now on the app, I don't blame them. They put the emblems in there. Some of that software is really cool looking when they put the emblem and they put the preseason ranking. But the disingenuous move to
it's not preseason. It's every week. It changes. It's not preseason or anything. It's every week. It's the national rank of that week. What the AP poll ranking
So
is.
they do that what on Tuesdays? When does that come out?
Monday's when the poll comes out. And then
So
it
they
changes.
let the weekend happen.
Yep.
And then the basketball writers vote.
Sunday
and they
night
send
into
it out
Monday. Yep.
Monday
It comes
to
out
everybody.
Monday.
This is the new rankings.
Yep. Comes out. And it changes at the books. And the books take the AP and they change it. Because
Put it in the chat, boys and girls. If you've looked at a college basketball top 25 poll this season, yes or no? I'm just curious.
Yeah, of course they have. Yeah.
I honestly have not.
Not at all?
No, I like to talk about it when we get on the show here because when Auburn loses, who's number one? Duke.
Right, yeah,
Okay.
right.
And I just at the top, I don't know who's 18th.
Yeah, that I agree with. Top 10 teams are fun to talk about only because it's supposed to be the top teams of the country. Like, who is the best team currently, right? But I'm with you. Come 19, 20, 21 means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Doesn't matter.
Listen,
It shouldn't.
At a basketball school like Penn State, when they get in the top 25, it's a big deal.
You're a football school.
Joking. I know. I was seeing if you were paying attention.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah. But no, Syracuse. When did CBW say Syracuse was last ranked?
Like 5 years ago.
Let's see. I have to scroll way back. The chat's
2018.
You guys are doing an unbelievable job. Thank you.
Five
CBW. Syracuse hasn't been ranked since December 2018. It's 2025.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep. I mean, look, yes, I would agree, PB. I stare at KenPom every day. That's,
It's become the go-to for people that don't even watch college basketball.
Yeah, it's a little annoying. I'll agree with that. But teamrankings.com is another one that I go to all the time.
Good source.
Yep. Go there. I try to go to 5 or 6 different sites that all have analytical ideas as to trends and where teams are ranked and everything else and power rankings. And, there's no rhyme or reason as to how you should make a bet, just however use the same system to how you get there. And if it works for you and wins, that's great. But find your system, find what works for you. And
precursor to championship week in the conferences. Don't look at the seeds. It's going to mess you.
Yes,
100%. And then when we get to March Madness in the big tournaments, you're going to see 7s playing 10s and the 10s -4.
Right. True.
Just let you know. And
but
don't
5
mean
play
that's
12.
the side. That don't mean it's the total. The 7 and the 10.
Yeah.
They're not on the sheets in Vegas. I'll tell you that right now. That don't matter.
Just
we'll put them on there to help people find the games, but that don't make one. There's whatever seed is, doesn't matter 1 second in any line. Period.
I wonder as we get further down the line in gambling in America, I really wonder how or who is the first one to stand up and say, why don't we ask the people in Vegas more about the seedings?
They ain't asking us nothing. You
They
see
might.
these stories in the industry. They
They
could have
might.
asked us 5 years ago for stuff.
I know, but they might start to have more.
They're not.
To
They
be
don't
like,
care.
hey, let's find more connections and see,
Nope.
what I think a bookmaker should be in the room.
Been advocating for it for a decade.
When they're making the bracket, they should have a bookmaker.
When they
in the
went
room.
away from the 1-2, when there was only 2 teams in college football,
Mhm.
and said we're going to have 4, I raised my hand. I said, I volunteer. I'll go sit in a room. I won't say nothing
Right.
until I'm asked. And then I'll tell you exactly what guys who are living and dying with every bet tell you that these should be the 4 teams. And I'll tell you why. You can listen to whatever you want. It'll never happen. I'm with you, Butchie. It'll never happen.
I disagree.
They don't want to know.
Right now, they don't. Right now, they don't want to know. I think eventually, because right now, they would have to take the ego hit and swallow pride to say we don't know as much as you guys do, which nobody in that room can handle because they're the basketball heads and they know everything.
Not
So
only that, it might not be the best TV show.
Well, it might be a better TV show. The game might be more competitive.
It could be, but it might not be better.
I mean, the games might be better, more competitive. Like if I'm trying to put together, a bracket that has a bunch of 3, 2.5, and 2-point lines, I might get a better bracket than when I put together a bracket and I've got a -8, a -9. I got big spreads all over the place because they're mismatches, but the math tells me it should be 7v10 and 6v11.
Listen, they're trying to expand the tournament.
They are. They
They're
want
not
to
gonna
next
listen.
year.
They're not going to listen.
Yeah.
They're doing their own thing.
Houston smoked last night, 16-1. Win at Texas Tech. They cover.
Best team in the country. Them and Duke.
You make the case. I'm still not sold on
Duke
Duke.
and Auburn.
I'm
Right
still
now,
not sold
1,
on
2,
Duke
3,
yet.
any order.
I think
sold on
Florida. Not yet. I know I'm sold in Houston. Oh yeah. I'm sold in Houston. I'm not sold on Duke. Still not sold on Duke. I still. Their numbers look phenomenal, but they play in a crap conference.
Very true.
So I'm just not. I'm not sold on Duke being the best team in college basketball. They are a 1 seed because they have earned it, and I give that to them. They're going to play in New Jersey. It's going to be Duke everywhere throughout their entire run to San Antonio. It's going to be simple. Like they're going to have massive home court advantage all the way to San Antonio. So they should be a Final Four team, but I'm just not sold that they're one of the 5 or top 3 best teams in college basketball. I am sold on Houston. I'm still sold on Florida.
That Texas Tech did have late injury news, by the way. That line steamed to 4.5 by the time the game tipped.
Still covered
All
it.
steam was right.
Still covered it.
Yeah.
Houston's really good.
Where do you have Texas Tech on your list?
They're okay. I mean, they're not a real contender in my mind.
Wow.
They're okay. I mean, they're in the same conversation to me. I would put them into like the third bucket, like the top tier bucket for me is Auburn, Florida, and Houston. The next tier bucket would be a Duke. Trying to think who else would I put in there in the second tier? Because I put them in the third tier beyond. Like I would put an Alabama, Duke, Tennessee, kind of in that conversation, and then Texas Tech, Iowa State, Michigan State would probably be the next.
Right now, I have
tier.
3 number 1 seeds: Auburn, Duke, and Houston. Right now,
not Florida.
I don't know yet so they're I still haven't determined. Yes, we'll see in the next week, 2 weeks, whatever. But they're going to destroy Georgia today, right?
Yes.
They're going to beat Georgia pretty good.
Oh, they did by 30 at home.
Yeah. I don't know who the 4th would be yet, but that right now. So this is like just the natural rhythm of the year. I'm getting into that mode where I'm
St.
going.
St. John's is a 4 seed. Guys, what are you smoking? Like, seriously, put the crack pipe down. What are you guys doing? St. John's is not going to be a 1 seed. St. John's is a 4 seed right now. They're lucky to be a top 16 seed in the whole damn conference, the whole tournament. St. John's is not going to be a 1 seed, not even close to being a 1 seed. No. No. Not even close. No.
If they win the Big East,
doesn't matter.
I know, but if they win the rest of their games and run it in the Big East in New York,
it's already
baked in. A 1 seed, but they could
3
be
is the highest.
I was going to say, could they be the lowest 2?
No, they'll be a 3 seed. No, can't. No, St. John's is not. St. John's is 24-4, and their wins over Butler, Seton Hall, and Marquette aren't going to be that impressive. It's not going to change their 4 seed currently. If they win the Big East, they could be a 3 seed. That's their ceiling is a 3 seed.
Right.
They're not a top 8 team. Like there's no way they're not a top 8 team in college basketball.
I don't know.
I
think the way things fall, I think they could be a 2. Like the way I don't know. I think the ceiling could be a 2. Chef B. Matt doesn't. Matt thinks a 3. Yeah, I think they could be a 2 seed. The way
are they better than here? Let me tell you this: are they better than Tennessee?
They're in the top 10.
That doesn't matter. You're the one that just told me that the rankings don't mean shit.
No, I know, but you have to make the argument if they win the Big East, they're a conference champion, they run the table the rest of their games, finish 27-4, right? How many games they got?
They have 3 games left. They're 24-4. Yeah.
So they finished 27-4 regular season, win the Big East in Madison Square Garden. Is it still in Madison Square Garden?
Yep. Yep. I missed you. Yep. Home game for them. 3 is the highest they can get. And it's great. A 3 is phenomenal. I mean, again, the top 16 seeds came out, the top 16 rankings. They were the last ones. I believe there were 16, right? They were the 4 seed and they were the last 4 seed. So you're telling me they're going to go all the way to a 1 seed? There is no way. St. John's is not.
I don't think it's a 1 seed, but I think it can be a 2. I mean, if they're a top 10 team in the country with the rankings, they're going to use that. I'm not saying it's right, but that's if they're up there.
They're behind Gonzaga right now on Ken Palm. I don't think Gonzaga should even be a top 4 seed. They don't use
Ken Palm to do the seedings.
Oh, I think that they say they do actually. They do look at analytical. If St. John's finishes in the top 4, they're a 1 seed. What do you mean in the top 4? Top 4 for what? Like, how,
rankings, the final rankings before the
you think St.
bracket.
John's is going to be ranked 4th in the country? Come
There's
on.
7 right now, right?
Come on. Come on. Like, Duke and Auburn aren't going to lose, okay? And even if they do lose, they're not going to fall very far. Houston would be number 1, and then Duke would fall to 2 or 3. Auburn would fall to 2 or 3. Florida is not going to lose. I mean, they might lose to Alabama, but Georgia, A&M, and Ole Miss, they're winning those games. And they beat Alabama, they could wind up being the number 1 team in the country. So there's your top 4 seeds right there.
Right.
Tennessee is right there at 22-5. Alabama's 22-5. Iowa State's 21-6. Texas Tech is 21-7. Wisconsin's 21-6, and Michigan State's 22-5. Like, the Big Ten's going to get some respect.
Teams. Holy crap!
Okay, those are all teams. Yes, but the Big Ten teams, or one ACC team that's all ranked ahead of the Big East. Like, the Big East is a good conference. It's nowhere near the Big 12, and it's nowhere near the SEC. It's at best the 3rd conference, or
they're only going to get what, 3 teams in?
4.
Holy crap! A bird just almost flew in the window over there. Wow, that was crazy. I thought the bird was flying right in. He made a late upward swing. Thank goodness. It's coming right into my window. Tyler Palm, which I think, Tyler, we should actually start using this. They're number 2 in the Tyler Palm. They're
a 2 seed.
Yeah.
Not number 2, a 2 seed.
Well, they're a 2. Yeah.
What are we? The Big 12 does not suck this
year.
What are we talking about?
Your Big Ten bias is showing, Dave's Daily Picks.
You guys are ripping some bong hits today. Like, deep 5-foot rips today. The Big 12 sucks.
Does it?
Houston and Texas Tech and Iowa State are 3 top 10 teams.
Pretty good.
The Big 12 sucks. They have 3 top 10 teams in the Big 12. Like, what are we talking about?
The rest has taken a little bit of a downfall.
The rest?
Kansas is not good.
Okay, but they were preseason number 1, and Kansas is still, even on KenPom, they're 19-9. I hate Kansas, but they're still 5th in defensive rating. Like, it's still a top 10 defensive team. They could still hurt somebody. They figured it out. They still have Bill Self. Houston, BYU, Texas Tech, Arizona, Baylor, Iowa State, and Kansas. Okay, that's the top half of the Big 12.
Other than Kansas, I'm down with all those.
Okay, don't tell me the Big 12 is down. Don't tell me the Big 12 is down. If that's the top half of your conference,
pretty good.
It's pretty damn good. They could have 2 Final Four teams out of that. Like, it's really possible.
Who's the top 6 in the Big 12 or the Big 10 right now?
Let's see. Michigan State, Michigan.
Wisconsin,
Maryland, Purdue, which is, I don't love Purdue, but they're 19-9.
That got pretty light pretty quick.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem
that got pretty light pretty quick as far as.
So Oregon's going to be a really interesting case, and so will Illinois, because Illinois has fallen apart completely.
Mess.
So, but they're still 17-11, and they're 9-8 in the Big Ten, which is not bad. So if they wind up 11-9, they're a top half of the Big Ten. You would think that they got a shot to get in. So most people have 8 Big Ten teams getting in. That means Michigan State, Michigan, Wisconsin, Maryland, Purdue, UCLA, Illinois, and Oregon are all in. I don't love it, but they're all in.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Nothing to sneeze at in this Big Ten rankings.
So that's, I mean, if you want to go off bracketology, just on what the projections are, and I don't necessarily agree with this many Big Ten teams being in, but they've got 10 Big Ten teams in. Sorry, not 8, 10 Big Ten teams in.
Thank you, JC from KC and Nikki. I think a realistic number is what? 8 for Shores.
Yes.
Right?
Indiana, Ohio State, Nebraska are your questionable teams. Nebraska's loss last night to Michigan did not help them.
Nothing personal, but I wouldn't put any one of those 3 teams in.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't put Nebraska in, but everyone pushes. I mean, I thought last night was it. I thought last night for Nebraska, they had 2 wide open looks for 3 to win the game and then tie the game, and they missed them both. You can't miss those. You can't miss those shots. You can't miss open threes when your season's on the line at home. You must make that shot. Like, that's a must make shot, and they missed it twice.
Yeah.
Brutal for Nebraska. Brutal on that.
Tough L.
And I would put him out. Nikki, you know what? I don't think that's horrible. Indiana over Nebraska over Ohio State, given the way they've played recently, and the win over Purdue.
College hoop heads.
Don't hate
Do
it.
you agree or disagree with Nikki? If you were to rank them in the 3 order, I would rank them exactly like that.
Yeah, I look, Indiana. It's funny because everybody see
IU sucks. But
There's
he's
a
an
lot
IU grad. Johnny Parlay's angry about
It's a
IU.
lot of people that want Mike Woodson out. They want him gone.
Right.
They want absolutely gone. Yeah, Nebraska
has
got the
better
quad 1 wins. That's
Here we go with the quads.
That's it. But that's the answer. I use the eye test on Nebraska, and I say, when you watch the Huskers, do they look like a tournament team? And the answer would be no.
I don't think so.
The numbers would say, yeah. So he's out. That's over with. Okay. Well, if he's out, don't you want them to go ahead and play in the tournament? Because if he's out, it doesn't matter what he does, whether he wins or loses.
Oh, no.
So don't you want to make the tournament? Give you something to watch?
Maybe he wants a trip to Vegas.
Oh, for the crown?
Yeah.
I can't believe DraftKings is not sponsoring that tournament. It's called the Crown Tournament. Like, isn't it like it's like marketing 101? Like, how is DraftKings not sponsoring that tournament? They may not want to take it because it's a college basketball tournament.
Right.
But the Crown Invitational not being sponsored by DraftKings is a miss. Like, that's just a miss.
Johnny Parlay said, yes, I would love to see them play, but the school might turn down an invite to a non-NCAA tourney.
He's right.
Are you serious?
He's right. Oh, yeah. Because the team playing in the Crown will look nothing like the team that currently is on the floor for all of these teams.
Oh, yeah. B-House said the same thing if West Virginia comes out.
Yeah. Every kid's going to scatter. So.
By the way, I'm secretly rooting. I mean, I hope West Virginia makes the tournaments for B-Howe and his partner's sake, Tony.
Right.
But if they don't, it's going to be a hell of a fun couple days when they come out here. I cannot wait. He ain't ever been to Vegas. So.
Oh, wow.
I said, yeah, you get the VIP experience.
Oh, yeah. We'll take you around for sure.
Yeah.
Some football. The Packers are the team that asked the NFL to ban the tush push. Fair or foul to this? They lost to the Eagles in the playoffs, and the Packers are the ones who want this thing outlawed.
I guess somebody had to do it, right? Everybody's mad at it.
Everyone's mad at it. But only one team offered up the resolution to outlaw it. And it was an unnamed team until the end of the day yesterday when it came out it was the Packers.
Yeah. Nicky Ciramello, Packers are soft.
Look,
I don't know about that.
I don't think they're wrong. I really do believe that the tush push should be banned. But
why?
It's not football.
Talking about it's like the ultimate football. It's rugby.
I don't believe you should be able to push somebody forward.
It's a scrum.
At any case, on all cases. I don't think, not just at the goal line, I don't think you should be able to push somebody forward the same way you can't pull somebody forward. The NFL has a rule that I cannot pull you forward. I can only push you forward. I think both should be outlawed. No one should be.
Why doesn't everybody do it then?
I mean, everybody has been doing it for the most part. It's just
why it doesn't work when anyone else does it.
Well, it works well enough. It doesn't always work. I mean, obviously ask the Buffalo Bills about doing it with Josh Allen. So
let it go, please. Bills fans. I mean, he's right. I didn't want to bring it up, but
saying I look, they may be a bunch of crybabies, but I don't think they're wrong.
Chef B.
I don't think they're wrong. Just saying, you can say stop it if you want, but realistically, the football rule states you should not be pushing or pulling somebody forward. They have to get there under their own. I don't mind the QB sneak. The QB sneak has worked for years. Tom Brady was the best, maybe ever, at QB sneaking outside of Hurts with the tush push, without being pushed. But we've created this environment where you're able to get behind somebody, and two running backs or offensive linemen can push a quarterback or a running back forward. That's not football. That's not how the game was meant to be played.
See, King of Car Seat said they should focus on Jordan Love. All right, that's from a Minnesota guy.
That's fine.
Chicago Kristen, from a former rugby player, it's a rugby move.
Of course it is.
I knew you played rugby. I had a feeling about that.
It's an illegal play. Yes.
Tush push is stupid, PB says. It's an illegal play, Alex. Hello, Alex. Good to see you here.
It's illegal. Sir. I mean, there's no debate in my mind. It's an illegal formation. It's an illegal play, but it's just they get through a loophole. And I think they have to address this. I don't think the NFL is going to address this. They're going to put it up to a vote coming up later on this summer to see if it's going to get knocked down or not. But I'll be very curious to see how many people vote yes to make it illegal, because you know you're getting 3 yes votes in Washington, Dallas, and New York. Okay? You're getting 3 yes votes out of those teams. So how many others will jump in and say, yep, let's do this?
It's weak sauce.
It might be, but it's
only because no one else does it successfully.
correct.
And then they're going to have to call more penalties because when a receiver catches a ball on 3rd and 8 and it's 3rd and 11 and they catch it 8 yards, and then the offensive lineman comes running down as they get kind of stopped and pushes them from behind and they fall over the first down marker.
Flag
Is that illegal?
Yeah. If someone's pushing you forward at any point.
Every time this happens now, we're going to throw a flag.
Yes, because it should.
I
want again. That's what I mean.
I don't want to watch football. No,
I'm not
going to watch it.
Why? Because I don't need an offensive lineman.
I don't need more flags.
That's fine.
I need less.
I need the support. I need the sport to be played the way the sport was meant to be played. Football was not meant to be played this way. You weren't supposed to get help. You weren't supposed to be. This is not tandem football. This is not tag team football. Like, if you are not supposed to be picked up by an offensive lineman and pushed, so let me ask you this: what if I picked you up and carried you? You okay with that?
No.
Why? The same thing.
My feet are off the ground.
I'm helping you. What the hell's the difference between someone pushing you or carrying you? They're helping you. It's not your power that's getting you forward to the first down marker. It's somebody helping you. That's my problem with it. I don't like it at all. So I would be okay with it all coming down and being out of football in general. I just don't know how many teams are going to be willing to say, well, what if we want to use that sometime? So now it's illegal. We don't use it as much as the Eagles do, but we still use it. Are they willing to say it's illegal just to take away the weapon that it is for the Eagles?
Man, oh man. It feels like it's a personal affront to the Eagles.
It is 100%. There's no debating on that, but I don't think it's wrong.
Jeff Benning said people get pushed forward all the time. It happens every game. It does.
Right.
But I just don't want to give more flags.
Illegal. If it was illegal, it would happen. The Bills will vote to ban it. Will they? Oh, against the ban. Yes. The Bills vote against the ban. Yes, I would agree with that. The Bills probably would vote against it. But it's
one tush push per quarter, Vic Ferrari. Brian Opoka, good to see you here, sir. I agree with Matt. I've been saying it for a long time. Also need to get quicker whistles to end forward progress. Forward progress is ridiculous. Where you get tackled is where you get tackled.
Subjective. Subjective. I get it. People who are Eagle fans, this is a very sensitive topic for you guys. This is a big deal. You guys are all about this because you feel like it's a personal affront. Like you said, you can't ban the Philly special, Tyrone.
Tyrone.
Can't ban that. Sorry, you can't ban that. So, all right. We've talked a lot about Kalshi, and now there's some real talk here. Rep Titus is pushing back on the idea that the CFTC wants out from policing this new form of whatever you want to call it, gambling or not. So the head of the CFTC said, look, you guys can make a determination whether or not Kalshi and crypto.com and all these exchanges, whether or not that's gambling or not. But the CFTC wants nothing to do with it. He completely punted on, and it's supposed to be their jurisdiction to police this. And they said, we're out. Which some people are saying it's just a complicit way of letting it happen because there's nobody who will police it now. If they don't do it, then it's up to the state, and the state has to define what gambling is, and that's going to be a whole legal fight in every single state. So Titus is ticked off, and I don't blame her. Yeah. And she's saying, wait a minute, why are we allowing Kalshi to essentially have a backdoor into legalized gambling without being or having to go through the channels like everybody else has to go through the channels to get licensed and approved from the gaming commissions in each state?
All fair questions.
All fair questions.
And we addressed this back when we had Alex on, Alex K from Sports Ray, and discussed it kind of. Are you doing that on purpose?
Doing what? No, just resetting.
Okay. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
I did it first, then you did it. Somebody has to ask the question. They asked the question. Now someone has to actually enforce it. It seems weird to step back and say,
Well,
yeah.
he said the head was like, he goes, he said, I have no problem if you guys want to enforce this as a gambling practice, but my office is not the one that's going to do it.
Right.
Everybody was like, well, then who the hell is going to do it?
Who is?
And he's like, not my problem. You guys figure out who is supposed to judge this because it ain't going to be us.
It'll be whoever it is will have to take it pretty serious, and they're going to have a lot of legwork to go over and go, well, they had to do this in this state, they had to do this in this state, and then they had to do this in this state, and it's a lot of differences. And then they're going to go, but these people didn't have to do nothing. They just turned it on, and they made a prediction markets and contracts. But it's the same. Well, no. Well, yeah, it is actually. But so why don't I have to do that?
Right.
It's lunchtime. Recess.
We didn't want to do it.
Well,
it's the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. That's what FCTC stands for. The chairwoman got a letter from Rep. Titus in which she wrote, this year, platforms have started to offer contracts on sporting events. Talking about the contract markets. Event contracts on sporting events brings this relatively new industry directly into conflict with state-regulated gaming operations.
Yep.
So we're basically saying, you guys are gambling. You know you're gambling. You're gambling. Call it whatever you want, but if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Quack.
You're gambling. You're gambling.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to figure this out, or at least come to some idea that, each state that has their regulatory bodies, how are you guys allowed just to go around this? Explain this to us like we're children. How are you able to do this?
Yeah. I don't think they want anyone to do it. Like,
No.
They don't want to have to answer that question, because I think it's only going to open up the whole, well, wait a second. I mean, the money's gone. Like they already booked the stuff. Like it's done. So what do you do next? Well, don't do that again. You guys, you really went after it with the election.
Right. And
And we
that's
didn't
what
do
got
nothing.
everyone's attention with it.
And we thought, all right, it's too late. You did that so quickly and it just came upon us and we had other things we had to take care of. So you did it with the Super Bowl. What's next? Like, are they doing March Madness at Calci? I haven't looked.
No, they are. Yeah, but they're doing worse things where they're doing like, is Luigi Mangione going to be convicted? Like
That's a thing.
Yeah. You could bet on that on Calci if you want. Like,
Wow.
There's no.
Who makes that number?
No idea. There is no rhyme or reason for what market they will put up. Like, they will put up anything. Like, if the public has some type of decision on it, they will put it up.
I'm flabbergasted.
Like, there's a market up there that says whether or not Canada will be the 51st state or not.
People can bet money on that?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a perfect time for vacation. And everything going on right now, the stupidity of stuff and the real stuff and like all this other stuff, it's a perfect time to go on vacation, the way things are going. I can't believe it. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, and I don't know who's going to do it, but somebody's going to do it. Because they ain't going to stop doing it.
No, not until somebody actually knocks
Makes
on the door
them
with a
stop
warrant.
doing
Yeah, with a warrant. It says you have you will not do this.
Yeah.
We'll see where that goes. But when we come back on Monday, there could be some more news on this because it's not going anywhere. Time now for Bet It or Book. All right, guys, remember, we are off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Dave is headed to Florida to go check out his daughters playing softball. We'll be back on Monday. In what form? We'll have to see. Dave's hopefully going to be able to get set up for Monday for us to do the show with him in the bright and sunny confines of Florida. Bet It or Book It time. Over 128.5 for TCU and our boy B-House team in West Virginia. This total is too low. This is a super low total. Yes. because we're seeing TCU games. Their last 2 games for TCU. Sorry, 3 of the last 4 have gone over. Road game against Cincinnati, 132, went over by 6 points. Road game against Arizona was 142, Arizona State rather, 142, went over by 2 points. Okie State was 140.5, over by 4.5 points. Last 2 games have gone under for West Virginia, but that snapped back-to-back games against BYU and Baylor that went over. I don't think this flies over, but 128.5, other than Houston for West Virginia, this is the lowest total of the season for West Virginia.
I don't know if the winning team is going to score 60, I think.
Ooh,
So we get in
130. Butchie's now 130.
All right, Butchie.
I got 128.
Maybe that's the play over. I'll say book it.
Okay.
I say this goes under.
I think this is finally, it's not going to fly over, but I think it gets to like 132, 131,
right?
Somewhere there. One or 2 buckets, it goes over. And then you made mention of it earlier today. I think Florida is going to wax Georgia.
This is a bet.
Yeah.
I love home dogs, but not this one.
No. Florida's a matchup nightmare. Yeah. Georgia can't score. When I'm handicapping Georgia, I'm looking at the defensive effort for the opponent because Georgia's great defensively, but Georgia can't score. They don't have any offense. Florida is a top 10 team, both offense and defense. And at home, it was an absolute ass kicking. On the road, I don't think it's going to be much different because, again, I don't think Georgia scores. So I think the game goes under because I don't think, you're at 6, Butchie. I like your number. I'd rather have 6.
Yeah, they took all the. I mean, there's no 7s left on the board. It's all 6.5s.
Beautiful. Okay, better number, 6.5. I get the idea that Georgia at home is a different team. They're 10-6 ATS at home. They play tough, but Florida's 10-3 on the road, ATS wise. So I like Florida. Favorite thing about today is what?
I got a game for you. Lindenwood at Western Illinois.
Why are you asking me? Lindenwood? I have no idea.
Western Illinois minus a point. You got to lay it.
Take Western, sure. Yeah,
all right,
short number at home, sure.
All right, and then
what
about Mississippi State and Bama?
No clue. I've been staring at that game. I don't know what.
173. The game goes over. No.
Mississippi State has not been scoring lately. That's the problem with Mississippi State.
Is it senior night at Alabama, or they go
7-7? Bama, by the way, at home is 8-4-1 to the under. Mississippi State is 7-7 on the road. 8-6. Both of them are 8-6 ATS wise. All right, sorry, 8-6 to the over this year in the SEC.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tough. It's tough. I mean, they scored 87 points. State did in their loss to Oklahoma. Then they scored 70 and only gave up 54 points to A&M at home. That game went under by 19 points. I was on the over in that game. Went over against Ole Miss, but under against Florida. They've been a road over and a home under, if you want to look at trends for Mississippi State. But the Kentucky game went under by 2 points. I bet over 180. It fell 179. I was so pissed off. I was so pissed off in that game.
The last one I wanted to ask you was Duke. They played Miami today. They're laying 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
Can't.
24.
You can't take Miami. You just can't. This is
the most uncomfortable lay of the day.
Without a doubt.
23. Lay it. I mean, that is some serious wood, boys and girls.
I'd feel way more comfortable laying the 10.5 with Tennessee against LSU. I mean, if you want big chalk, you want big wood, there you go with that one. No, thank you. Yes, I said that. Or
favorite thing about today in the bonus time.
The other bet you could make.
What?
Yeah. Whoa, you're going to Cancun, Addison.
What up, baby?
There you go. Nice job. Enjoy that.
Nice and tan. We might see Addison down in Kentucky.
Oh, let's go. The other game I think you can lay is Missouri laying 12.5 at home against South Carolina. Missouri's 11-3 ATS in the SEC. South Carolina's 6-8. I think that they're going to. South Carolina is awful. Awful. So Missouri needs
some big spreads today.
Yeah. Well, you have a team that's 2-9 on the road and 1-13 straight up in the SEC, and they're coming off of a home win over Texas. They somehow beat Texas by 15 points, which just reiterates my point that I don't think Texas is very good.
Right.
Texas is not very good. So on this,
How is Georgia Tech getting 9 against Pitt? Pitt is not good. They're laying 9 at home to Georgia Tech. Put that one in the memory banks.
Guys, if you're watching on Sports Grid or SiriusXM listening, we appreciate you. You're going to get replay shows, best of shows, or other content with you guys for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll be back on Monday night for a fresh episode of BVB. For the rest of you guys who are with us live, you get bonus time. All right.
Now we can do it.
Enough everything about today.
Well, I mean, it might be your
rectal exam.
Your exam. Just again, you never know what the text may lead to and this and that. I mean, sometimes with the girls, I get texts and crazy stuff. And then, I was talking to somebody about a possible show in April in Michigan for us and whatever. And I get the text, we had planned to start at usually 11 to 11:15 start time. And I get the text, I'm still at the dock. And I'm no longer a virgin. I went, oh, he got it. That's good. Okay. So, and I just waited. After that. I thought, I don't know if he needs to take a ride, if he needs to go do something after. It's just one of those things that, it just gets you.
I'm not going to forget that anytime soon. That was a very unexpected start to my day. Was
fight for that inch. We fight for that inch.
I don't know how many inches. I don't want to know. I just know that it was breathe in and it was, oh my, I can't. So
it gives you that cough and you're like, hey, a little bit like that. And you're like, okay, good. We're good. I remember telling my doctor the first time he did it. I was like, Doc, any bit of warning would have been okay there. I mean, seriously, I wouldn't have tightened up, but my God. And then, we had a good laugh and it was over. No, my favorite thing about today is that, look, you got to take time, which we're going to do over the next couple of days, to just focus on whatever it is in your life you got going on. I can't wait to see my daughters. They don't get there till Saturday, but hopefully I'm going to get to meet some of you down in Florida. I'm going to be hopping around all over the state. Apparently, I got 3 different places I have to go and see games. I'm knock on wood, I'm going to get a tour of Pirate City behind the scenes. Ooh. I'm going to watch the pitchers warm up from the bullpen, all these other things. It's going to end up being one of those memorable trips, not just because I get time with the girls and Jess and Kendall are coming down. It's going to be great. But I haven't been to spring training in Florida in 27 years.
Whoa.
So 25, 90.
05. 05 for me.
Oh, no, it was 93.
Woo.
So 7 and 25, 32 years. I always go to Arizona because I lived in Arizona. So I haven't been to Florida for the spring training stuff. So, Butchie, the plan is to go see Joey. Hopefully we'll talk to him. If you guys are around Hard Rock and Tampa and stuff area, we'll probably do something there either during the week, maybe trying to see if we can get the show out of there where I'm set up there and you're here. So
let's do it.
Take the time while you can, when you can, to focus on yourself, your family, your friends, and that's what we're going to do, at least here with the show. You guys will find something to do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Go back, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, watch the old shows, the Meat Curtains episode. I mean, there's all.
And also stay tuned on the, by the way, just FYI, stay tuned on, if you're not part of the Discord channel, thebvbshow.com, go in there, because I very well may hop in. If something big breaks, something happens, I may just jump on and do a quick Discord channel chat and do it off that. So
we may need to do a Twitter Spaces. It's really hot right now.
Or that too. So if you want to do that,
you guys are on Twitter. You should get on Twitter. If you're not, you should get on it, because we call it Twitter. It's X, whatever you want to call it. But we might pop in on one of those.
So so if you guys, and you can do video now, so you can actually do it with video. So you can.
Oh, the Chicago game is Thursday. I'm not going to be here, Chicago, Kristen. Damn it! I didn't realize that was this week. Oh, I thought that was after I got back. Oh well, we'll see you guys in Kentucky. Rumor is that the Chicago couple may be coming to Kentucky.
Let's go. So so we have just, as we do kind of head on for a couple day break. This is called the dead period. This has been till the dead 2 weeks before we get to March Madness. We do have the show coming up in Franklin, Kentucky on the 12th of March. If you guys want to make plans for that, at Circus Sports at the Mint in Franklin, Kentucky. And then we're live the following week, Resorts World on the 20th and 21st. We're live Thursday and Friday at Resorts World for the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament. 16 games on the 20th, 16 games on the 21st, all with us at Red Tail Lounge inside of Resorts World on the 20th and 21st of March. So it's going to be we come back and we're busy, like busy. So that's a chance to kind of get ourselves a little bit of a oh, that's true, Jay. I'm actually I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to get over there.
So much fun. We went last year.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I'm gonna try to get over there and watch some college baseball.
Yeah.
For the at the ballpark. I saw the advertisement like a week ago, and I was like, oh, let's go watch some ping. It'll be fun to go watch.
It's
that.
fun.
So yeah. I haven't seen college baseball in person for a while, so may wind up go ahead and go do that. So at Boston versus the Book on Twitter X. Definitely stay tuned. We could be doing a Twitter Spaces there, depending on what Dave and I got going on during the next couple of days for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But the plan is to come back on Monday, to be determined on the start of the time for the show based upon Dave's schedule. But Monday back for a Monday's BVB. He's Dave. I am Matt. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy a couple of days off. Back Monday for BVB.